Yes, welcome back. This is A RAP CRITIC. I'm your boy Malik 16. And no, y'all niggas ain't heard no shit like this out the West Coast. We here today with a very special guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? This Method Man from the Mighty Wu Tang. Nah, I'm fucking with you. I ain't no damn Method Man. You know this Tash right here, man. Tash from the Alkaholiks, man.
Yeah, man. So we did it. We did part one because we were celebrating 25 years of the album Liquidation it being in existence, and so it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do part two with one of the makers of this album, one of my favorite rappers of all time. We got the mighty Tash in the house, and we just gonna run down on the real MC tip. This is different from most other interviews where they get all in other business and rumors and all that crazy stuff. We just focus on the actual MC part of the making of this album, man. So I'm gonna ask you to rate your album in your own opinion. If we're lucky enough to get Roe and Swift one day, I'd love to get their opinions too. But for right now, it's the man of the hour. The first dimension that we go in, this is category 2. We talk about the rap performance on the album, and the first dimension that we go into is personality. So, in your opinion, this album is different from all the other albums in your catalog. It's the middle ground album, because after this, there were like 2 others. And then, of course, you got your solo. Where do you feel like you were at as an MC showing your personality on the mic on this album?
On the real, that was our third album, so I think that album, personality-wise, we was already established MCs. We was getting down with the best of them. We'd already, at that point, had already have done stuff with, the people that we set out to do shit with in the beginning, you know what I mean? Because we always want to keep it, our crew. We always want to keep King T involved. We always want to do songs with like, the Wu Tang and different people that we know we kind of had connections with. That's what was really focusing on doing work with, our friends. That's why if you notice, how the business runs and everything, and it could be a lot of politics involved with all kinds of, the producer want this and this MC want this to rap on you, and all this. Pretty much every album we ever did, and we got features for. Maybe some rare occasions, the label might have kicked in, but we ain't never paid nobody out the pocket to do a song with us, because we looked at it like, you on the track, we on the track, the value's equal. We put the publishing right 50-50 on the publishing and the writers and all that. We equal with this, you know what I'm saying? And we coming out the money to promote it. So, we stressed it to them, if you ain't really into us or music or trying to, make some classic shit, then, we ain't the right group to be, trying to fuck with. But I'm trying to think the guest appearances on that album, Liquidation.
Since you brought up the features, I wasn't even going to talk about that because I'm trying to, in the interest of time. But y'all had Keith Murray on this album, and
I'm having a discussion right now, man. I called Keith the other day. He didn't pick up, but I called him to be like, I called him just to say hello. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, Keith is all. People don't realize that Keith is the coolest, most down to earth, most just what do you call it? Like, he funny to the motherfucker, but he's always been just like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got a new sign from the interviews and shit like that, but he always been a raw ass MC. He's always been a just one of them MCs. You know what I'm saying? Even though he did some MC ass shit on our shit, and we like the motherfucker said the same rap twice on our. He said the same rap on this shit than he did on our shit. Then he said the same rap on some guest appearance on like Onyx or somebody. He said that rap 3 times. He recycled that motherfucking can.
Yo, thank you for pointing that out, because in the first video, first half of this review, I don't. This show ain't really about my opinion. I just kind of let the audience put their rankings in, but I did mention that he didn't really come off like that on that track. It sounded like a freestyle, and that's crazy.
He was drunk as hell. He fell asleep under the car, man. Like, we had a car, a whole bunch of cars parked outside. We was trying to find it. It's not like I'm bad mouthing him, but it's just facts.
No, it's all.
We was looking for Keith for 2 hours or an hour and a half, whatever it was back then. Like, where did Keith go? That's where everybody kept asking, did he leave? Man, we go outside, we hear some noise. This motherfucker crawling out. He was nestled underneath the right tire of the car.
That's wild.
Then he got out the motherfucker. He got out the car. And then he fell asleep on the hood of the car because it wasn't hot, because nobody had drove in a while. So he just curled up on the hood of the car, you know. But it was all doing like a lot of stuff, man. I ain't gonna say it.
I was yesterday years old when a fan, actually from the first video, somebody commented. They were like, "I love the licks," and they were like, "You were wrong. They actually had a video to Off the Wall." I was like, I never saw this video. I never knew it existed. And the other comments like,
he didn't show up to that.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's one of them. We was living so like he had his own career going. We had our shit going. I don't remember what the circumstances were with him not being in the video, but for some reason they thought we could pull it off and everything without him and all this and whatever. And I you know, it's just more money we had to recoup. You know what I'm saying?
Did that video even make it to the Yo MTV Rap City Circus? I don't remember that, and I was a fan, man. I was looking.
Nah, cause I think I went to jail that night. That's all I remember about that video. And after that, I wasn't supporting that video no more.
I feel you.
Man, we was leaving that video shoot. I was with my boy Don Trail, and I was in the Corvette. I had that black Corvette that's in Rap Life video. I had that in front of the video shoot, and I had all these people following me, I guess, to my house or somewhere to like celebrate the video shoot or whatever. So the video's over with. I'm waiting on people. While I'm sitting in front of the video, I'm waiting, and there's a line of cars behind me, like 2 or 3 cars behind me that's gonna follow me because they don't know where I live at. And so while I'm waiting and shit, I think it's a good idea to just, you know, do a couple donuts and burn out in front of the video shoot, showing off and shit. I didn't know the motherfucking policeman was parked right across the shit, like right there. Like, first of all, everybody know I can't see that good. So I peel out, I do a couple of these burn, you know, those spinnies, like 360s and shit. Then I smash, like thinking that the whole crowd behind me, so all the smoke and shit. And as soon as I get out the smoke, nigga, I'm looking back like, okay, they following me. And I look, nigga, it's the motherfucking police following me and shit, man. They motherfucking threw up the light, took me to jail, man.
Yeah, it sound like you got some Oakland in you too.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just got that car, I was crashed.
So back to the question, the personality part, right? Because you kind of pointed out y'all established your identity well in the industry by that point. But you, as a member of a trio, do you feel like you did things on this album to make your personality stand out?
I mean, I ain't do it on purpose. It's like we all, I knew from day one, Swift, my cousin Swift, you know, we always been different. Like they never, that's why I had all these monikers and shit. Like this, you know, people call me Flashy Tashy and they call me CaTashrophe and they call me all this shit. Them was all different personalities that I just like to get off when I'm on the mic or I'm in a, you know, just where I'm at. Like, you know, J-Roll and them, they really ain't about all that. They ain't cut like that. They ain't looking for the fame and the attention and all that. They just want to be dope producers, dope MCs, you know, and this and that. And I just felt like, you know, like that's why I made a solo album. Kind of, I mean, that wasn't the main reason, but I wasn't even looking for a solo album. But you know, a lot of people told me that y'all so different, it works. But what can you do on your own? What can you do on yourself? What can you do without E Swift production on every track? What about, you know, it was weird because I got a lot of flack for that. Because my whole life, when I was with the Alkaholiks, which is totally me, you know, the alcoholic side of me is totally me, and I was an alcoholic too, for real. So it fit right in. But in the same breath, I always wanted to make my own mark. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to step out and see what I could do on my own because we just totally different people. Like you know, when rappers and shit are a group, in most cases, you know, they like EPMD. It's almost like Eric Sermon and Paris when they first came out. It was almost like the same dude. You know what I'm saying? It was like the same nigga rapping. You could tell which one was. That's how they had a formula. You know what I'm saying? And Onyx, you know, they all had bald heads and you know what I'm saying? It's like me, J-Roll, and Swift. We always been so like I go before the video shoot and go buy big ass chains and gold teeth and all this other shit. Right. You know, J-Roll right before the video. You know, you got a couple of coffee and shit just at the library. You read some shit. You know what I'm saying? Chilling, he'll come with the same shirt, you know, Pacoima on the front, area code, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do the verse, then go back to reading his books and shit. Man, the one thing that I missed about making albums with the Licks was the whole camaraderie of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we felt like a sports team, like it's us against the world. And when you go in to make music and you free, you got money in your pocket, you got homies over here cheering you on, you got no I ain't gonna say responsibilities, but you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from and all that shit. That loosens you up to be able to, create. And I think that I like the camaraderie of the albums and shit.
Yeah, man. I think on this album for sure, y'all 3 separate identities were the most established that it ever been at that point. By just natural, organically being established in the industry, but also the things y'all were doing on the mic separated you. You had more bite to your rhymes, and so I think the personalities were evident by that point. So for clarity, this is a ranking show, so I'm gonna be asking you to rank, as we go throughout. So on a scale from 1 to 5, what would you give? How well you feel like you got your personality across on the album? That's
you tell me how much. If I'm the one saying this shit, then of course I'm gonna say, hell yeah, that's what I was feeling. I got it across and this and that.
All right, put it like this. For instance, when I was interviewing OC dropped the album the same year that y'all did, and his feeling on this part, he was like, yeah, I was still growing, so I don't think I put my personality as best as I could on that album. I gave it like a 4 out of 5. That's what he gave. So I'm asking you, just when you look back and you like Tash's personality, I executed that on a high level. So it sounds like you're giving that a 5. All right.
I give it a 5 because it was organic. So that's what I wanted to. That album was one of that. That's what I wanted to do, because by that time we had already been through 21 and over. And King T, to this day, he keeps saying he didn't say this shit, but after 21 and over, King T took me in the room and we was drunk, right? And we took me in the Eastwood room, and basically, I didn't know it was a joke or nothing like that, but he was like, man, J-Ro housed you on that album, man. You better come back with shit and all this and everything. But I don't know if he's joking or not, but I took that shit like, what? I said, oh, really? I said, okay, if that's how you feel. But see, that's my big homie, so when he tells me something, I get emotionally, like I went in the straight, like somebody just said, I don't know, it's just like, it just flipped on a switch in me, you know what I'm saying?
Dimension 2 is how believable versus the suspension of disbelief. So some rappers, they go into characters when they're on the mic, and they want you to suspend your disbelief because you just on a journey while you listening to that album that they in whatever cast. I always got the impression that, like you said, it's organic. Tash, you call yourself by your government name in your rhymes, Rico. Only part where it suspended the disbelief is obviously y'all not drinking as much as y'all rapping, but I might be wrong. Were y'all drinking as much as y'all was saying y'all were drinking in your raps at that time?
Yeah, I want to say more. More. Our life was like a part, like, dude, like check this out. Like, okay, first of all, all the albums we did on Loud, right? We wouldn't tell them shit. Like we would talk to them, and we had A&Rs and all this shit, but like our A&R was Swift's girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So we had the inside. Her name is Noah Ochi. Shout out to Noah. She was a big part of all the alcoholic success or whatever. She was a big part of Loud, but she never gets mentioned with the Steve Rifkins and all that. That was Steve's right hand go-to person and everything. And when I tell the stories about like Hurricane G, the female rapper used to live with E Swift and Noah, that's what I was talking about. I say like we used to go like this. We would make the albums that we wanted before we would even tell Loud, okay, we back in the lab working on albums. You know what I mean? So when Loud hand over that budget for the next, this happened like 4 times in a row. When the Loud would hand over the budget for the next album, we had a lot of that shit mapped out. You know what I'm saying? We already had it. We just ain't played it for them. You know what I'm saying? So we would go in like we recording like, 6-hour, 7-hour sessions, 10-hour, 12-hour sessions and all this shit. But the whole time we were going in the first hour and just do the vocals over Swift beat that we already had. And the rest of the time we just listening to it back, partying, drinking, bitches, smoking weed. Motherfuckers over here doing some whole other shit. We got to kick them out. You know what I mean? To tell you the truth, we all grew up a lot because our first 2 albums was really party animals. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were partying up for 3 lifetimes, man. We was on a Warped Tour. And just imagine, we the only hip-hop group on there. So everybody was gravitating towards hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And then our group was called The Alkaholiks. So every white boy that walked up to us wanted to drink with us. And,
yeah. That frat life. Yeah.
It was like it was really one of them things. But see, like I could honestly say, I got engulfed by that though. You know what I'm saying? Swift and them always had a level head, always had a sense about him and shit. I was just going through a phase where I was like, we're gonna do this alcoholic shit, and that's the image. I'm about to go all the way with it. You know what I'm saying? And I really tried to live up to the folklore, the folklore of it.
And I heard you stop drinking. Matter of fact, on the Drink Champs joint, you said you really cut it out.
Yeah, I stopped drinking because I had to. It was like more of a conscious decision, you know. But it was like this. Like I said on the Drink Champs, man, I partied it up for 3 lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you get to a certain age, you gotta, you gotta shake the shit that's destroying your, you know, well-being. I was going hard, man. I was super hard. Like all we needed was the birthday cake and balloons, and we had a party. You know what I'm saying? That's all we needed for a party back. It was heavily party animal. They call us the Black Beastie Boys and all this shit, man. Like,
yeah, I said that, which also speaks to how pure hip hop y'all were. Y'all were one of the few acts, man, that didn't have an agenda, but it fit. Y'all wasn't backpacky, and y'all wasn't gangsters, and y'all were repping the West Coast, which is not supposed to work, but it worked because y'all were just giving hip hop without having to scream it on every song. Y'all just never got that from y'all. Y'all wasn't like I represent the real hip hop. Y'all didn't get caught up in that, and so that also makes it easy to be believable because y'all just talking about getting chicks, partying, drinking, and you know, battling. I want to give you props, man, because you were one of the few, you know, like one of the fly rappers that would talk about battling, which was some backpacker shit to do. But you said that a couple times on one of my favorite lines where you like, maybe not, maybe so, maybe yes, maybe no, maybe niggas got some friends that want to battle for some dough. If you know somebody,
holla. Because I take those extra dollars with Jay and Slim, buy a 96 Impala, and lace it with the D's on my own stack of cheese.
Yeah, so
I know what you're talking about. I know that one. Yeah,
I was like, yo, this is a signed rapper talking about still being down to battle. So that inspired me as a rapper, being young and hearing that. I'm like, yo, he don't have to do that. He loves hip hop that much that he'll battle some niggas outside the liquor store for some dollars. Yeah, man. So yeah, the believability, I think it comes off easier when you're not portraying a role and trying to live up to. We see what happens, especially, you know, out of LA, with people trying to live the gangster lifestyle and get caught up in it, because you can't just say it, you gotta rep it.
Exactly. A lot of people say that held us back because, you know, that's what LA was in. I mean, LA's always been like that, man. I just feel like, you know, the word I'm really getting tired of hearing this shit is just underrated shit, man. It's like, I think that puts a bad taste in my mouth because realistically, it's up to y'all to rate us. You know what I'm saying? So when the person keeps saying, man, you underrated, yeah, because of y'all. But, you know, they never put us in the categories that they put all these other. Like, I can tell you so many stories about incidents and shit that I was there at, and you know, all this type of shit. But you know, it's like I'm the type of person that I don't like. People say this holds me back, but I'm very humble, and I don't walk around like I'm Big Bad Tash, the best rapper on this side of the West Coast, and all this shit, man. I'll be like, man, that's for y'all to decide. You know what I'm saying? Who's this and who's that? I'm not gonna play the games, because if you come from LA, you pretty much know that you pretty much have to come under a card. You have to come under a card. A lot of people come under the Dre and Snoop and Eminem and the Jimmy Iovine card, or you come over here Eazy-E card with Ruthless and, you know, the NWAs to the, you know, all the dope artists on Ruthless to all that, to even the gangster shit that, I mean, you had to come under, you know, the, you know, like Death Row, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Death Row and all that. If you, pretty much, if you from the West Coast, they wasn't co-signing you like they, and the funny part is that I was there, you know what I'm saying? We was there. But when it comes to, the dopest on the West Coast, we got DJ Quick, we got this, we got that, but we don't never get mentioned. I'll be looking like, man, I serves, you know what I'm saying? I serves. Man, so, you know, that's what it shit goes. That's what it really
me and you could do a separate interview just off that alone, because I mean, I heard y'all were like one of the first acts on Loud Records, and even some of these Loud Records reunions and anniversaries that been coming up, y'all still weren't in the highlights like that. So I mean, there's hella things. Then
you know what? I learned this though, man. This is what I learned. I learned that if you sit around and let that shit like that eat you up and get to you, you know, it'll take control of your mind. It'll take control. You'll feel less I know what I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know what my boys did.
Yeah.
I know how this person got signed here. I know what happened. I know what happened that night. I know all this shit. But I'll be saying that because I let people be themselves. I let everybody around me or wherever they are just be yourself. And when I see what type of person you are and how you could have did this for us, but you didn't. I'm not salty at you. I'm not mad. I just see who you are now. And once I see who you are, that's how I'm gonna treat you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's been like that, you know.
It's the only way to move, man. What you said is super true about it's up to, journalists have messed up the game for a long time back in the magazine days. So now we got the internet to even things out, and the system I created, the reason we doing the show is so the people can decide. It's like Rotten Tomatoes for rap. Basically, enough people lead their rankings and their votes on all these categories just to give it some order, because people always gonna pick their favorites. Music is subjective, but I like giving the categories so you could have like rap stats. So this is where we at. Believability on 1 to 5. How believable do you feel like you were on this album? 1 to 5.
Believable? I hope I was 100% believable, because like I said, it's all we ain't really we ain't come in on no and I left the store and this dude was looking at me and I shot at him and he, you know what I'm saying? We don't come with them fabricated, these made up theatrical gang song,
Right.
music and all that. Come on, man. We live up to who we are. You know what I'm saying? That's why I made songs like I Don't Want to Kill You. You know what I'm saying? Most people make songs called I'll Kill Your Ass. I made a song called I Don't Want to Kill You.
Yeah.
I want to party like the rock stars.
Yeah, you got tracks on there like Feel the Real where you can tell it's coming from a real place.
Hey, Joe, out of all the songs, listen, why did me and Swift just had this thing the other day? Oh, no, it was Swift. It was somebody else. I forgot who. Somebody was bumping that. And I walked up to him. I said, man, turn that shit off, man. And they said, what? They said, I said, turn that shit off. They said, why? I said, out of the thousands of songs I've done since da-da-da-da-da, for some reason, I don't know if they forced me to do it. I don't remember how I ended up on that track. I think somebody said it's a hit record or something. You gotta do it or something. I hate that song, dude.
What?
And I have no clue why. I wrote it about somebody. I did this, I did that. I tried to listen to it, this and that. I just think I sound terrible in that song, man.
Oh, you
maybe
wild, bro.
MC shit. I don't know.
Again, from a rapper standpoint, and as a listener, I appreciated your verse so much. Both verses, because Ro in it too. But the way you described it, we were so used to hearing either like simp talk in rap or player talk. Everybody's a player. You were the only rapper at that point explaining why. You were like, look, Rico knows what it means to be committed, but here's what I'm not gonna do because y'all ain't showing me that worth yet. Like, and you were like,
right. That describes it. That sums it up.
Bro, you broke it down.
Man.
But yeah, man. All right. So at least I know not to bump that
around.
around.
Why you bring that one up, man? The one I hate.
I know not to bring it up.
All the songs, that's the one that I said, like, what would have done in the show before? I like, man.
Oh, you wildin'. But yeah, now I know.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that one, man, because it's good.
Read the lyrics. Reread your lyrics and think about, like,
that likes to run wide, that can't provide. Okay, all right.
You were like, no one was alerted because they heard that I flirted. Just something like that's why you looking at my finger and
I say that like weird. It's nothing like flirting. I don't mean that. Something like that. I said it like slick Rick or somebody.
Yo, that takes me right to the next dimension. That's dimension 3, delivery. You said something on Drink Champs, man. You said you never wrote your raps to the beat. I'm calling cap on that. I do not believe that.
What do you mean?
You said you just.
No, I didn't say I don't write them down. I ain't say I don't write off my head. I don't do that. What I'm saying is I don't write to the beat. Like, okay, I wish I could play there's a beat in my car right now that somebody just sent me, right? I like it. So what I do is go like this. I bob to it. I just bust a little, do 4 bars that I already got or something like that. And be like, oh yeah, I can fuck with it. So now I got a metronome in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like when things go. It's like this. It's like, how could you sit there? How can you? Well, maybe it's because of bass. I don't know. Back then we had the bass.
No. I got it now. Now that you said that's all I'm saying. Because as a rapper, I was like, ain't no way in hell that you just the same verse you wrote for all shit you wrote with the same kind of timing in your head. Like
I did. No, that's what I do. But see, the whole thing is like this. Okay, check it out. If I write, okay, if I got this beat in my car right now, right? shout out to V1C. You was talking about the Bay too. Shout out V1C. That's my homeboy, very talented producer from Oakland, and I'm supposed to come out there and shoot the video with him next week. Shameless plug. But the motherfucker, like, he sent me a beat, and I heard the beat, and out of 10 beats, 1 beat catches me. Once that 1 beat catches me, I said, okay, hey, I got it. Number 8. You know what I'm saying? What I do is play the number 8, get the vibe of it. See, I can't sit here and think if I play it loud over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Now
it's like, damn, I can't let myself concentrate. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So
now
I can't write like that.
What
so
you're
what
saying,
I do is go outside.
What you're saying is you don't write to the beat. You write with the beat in your head.
Right.
That makes sense. But the way you said it on Drinks Chance, it sounds like you just write your rhymes.
No,
totally
I do. But see, that's what I do. But listen, that's what I do. Because if I wrote the lyrics in my head to the beat, to this beat right here, right? Mm-hmm. And then I wrote them down, that's just a lyric I have. That's a lyric that I have in my head. So if it goes on this beat or goes on that beat or I hear another beat doper than this one, I'm putting it on that one. You know what I'm saying? It's just a Rolodex. I got songs in my head right now I can just tell you that you never heard because they sitting right here.
Right, I feel you. But you make them match to the beat once you get to the beat, right?
Yeah, it's just like, you form a it's like putty, it's like clay. When you mold something into something, it's like that. Like the lyrics is in my head, and if I say a lyric that I got in my head over the beat and it doesn't match, then I have to go to my Rolodex to what lyrics do I have in my head that matches this beat. And even if I only got 4 bars and I like this beat better, I'm gonna say, okay, give me this one. Then I'll expound on that, and then by the time I'm done, I say, okay, I'll push the beat. Okay, I'm rapping too fast. Now I got to take out a word here, take out a word there. I got to do this. Okay, it comes in like this, so I got to not say I can't say, yeah, and then drop. I got to say, what's up? You know what I mean? It's like a process that I have, but when you hand me a beat, you ain't going to catch me just in the car bumping to the beat right. You know what I'm saying? Right. With no pen and no pad. I got to do that shit. That's what I was really doing, right? Before I was about to go in the gym right here. I was listening to V1C's beat, and I was trying to catch the beat in my head. So when I go into the gym, I'm just all acapella on the treadmill, just acapella. You know what I'm saying? And then if I get something in my head that I like, then I throw the beat on to see if it matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate you breaking that down for the entire global hip hop community that does not really understand how the rap process goes, because I know there were steps in it, and you just broke down the steps. And there's a whole world out there that's not going to understand that, and a whole world that will, and that was perfect. So your timing, your delivery on this album, what would you get that on the scale from 1 to 5? Because you was in your bag on this album.
Then I guess I'm a 10. If that's what you said, you can't get no higher than you in your bag, can you? You do this thing. I call it kind of like a hydraulic or like a rubber band release, because you'll start the first half of your bar structure with a couple syllables just to set it up, right? So, like, I think of what you did on Exhibit's album. You're like, oh, so Elizabeth is MCs that come to join you. Some will be from LA and some will be from California. And then the next half, you'll add more syllables. Cause then you notice you do that a lot? That's like everybody tell me, everybody describe my style, they describe it just like that though. I'm like, what the hell is that? They're like, that's what you're doing. I'm like, okay.
Yo, that's like your trademark.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of a rap right now, see if I do it. Okay. Where the smoke is at? Throw your hands in the sky, and if it ain't nobody waving, then somebody in here lying. Cause I see.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? I said some. I said God takes the good ones, but it leaves all the creeps here. I said, and niggas love their guns like Bumby loving cheap here. But since I'm on the mic and has the beat clear, see right there, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I said, since I'm on the mic and DJ Hector got the beat clear, I'm gonna talk my shit and say my shit to all the freaks here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's when I speed it up sometimes, and I speed it up sometimes, you know.
That's part of what's separated you, when we talk
I never even knew I did that to you till people started telling me that. And then I said, oh, well, that's been there since 21 and over, so.
Man, it's such a distinct pattern, man. And we talk about Dimension 4, the flow. Your flow started, and you could tell me if, in your opinion, if you think you grew. I feel like you accelerated by this album. We talked about everyone kind of having their personalities, but flow-wise, I feel like your flow it got mastered at this point. It was distinct, It stood out on every track, and it was continuous. You were the most fluid between Swift, Roe, and you. I mean, you agree with that?
If that's what I bet you see Swift and them is all organic with it. They ain't looking at it like no competition. So J-Ro obviously raps way slower than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not talking competition. I'm just talking about what's facts. What's facts? Right. You use more syllables. You know, if we were talking about words per minute, you use more syllables in your verses, and so that has the effect to the listener that you're killing it. And you do internal rhymes, just kind of like that rhyme you just spit where you were talking about the beeper. What'd you say? The cheap beer rhyming with the leap year before you even got to the final rhyme. So like you're doing rhymes, connecting rhymes. How important is that to you? Would you even realize you're doing that?
I don't think I realized. Like if I realized it, then I would sit down in front. I mean, beforehand, and I would say, okay, we're gonna do it like this, and then I'm gonna do it like that, and then I'm gonna do it. It'll never be like that. I'll be sitting in my own zone. As you can see, I'm smoking some weed. Well, I'm sorry, I'm smoking some CBD.
There you go.
But you know, I'm gonna challenge you. Cause I know it's something in there. Cause I ain't gonna just bet a whole bunch of money in there and you win and shit, and I'll be mad. But I'm gonna challenge you. Okay, this is what the challenge is. Over the last 25 years or whatever, 26, I've been rapping and whatever it came out. I don't even remember what year. But if you notice, every single lyric of my lyrics, the words have to match precisely. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say, like the syllables have to match. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm trying to think of any rap I ever said because it's gonna match. I guarantee you it's gonna match. It's gonna match.
So like, you mean the same syllable count per line?
Right. Like if I said something to you right now and I said, what's the name of this show we on?
This is F a Rap Critic.
Okay, if I said some man F a Rap Critic, then I had to come back with something like let your pops live it or let your slap live it. You know what I mean? It has to be the same amount of syllables, but the syllables have to match precisely. You know what I'm saying? That's why some of the shit I be saying don't make sense because I gotta put it in there because it has to, the syllables have to match. You know what I mean?
I ain't never heard a Tash rap that doesn't make sense. And again, I know you said it's not a competition, but I'm talking about a group album. I gotta compare y'all. Sometimes, you know, with Ro, it sounded like he would just say another word because it rhymed with the other word, like a freestyle flow. Like I was talking about somebody, Busta Rhymes does that. There's a lot of rhymes and verses that he has where it's like, okay, this sounds like a freestyle kind of thing. I roam through the forest like a brontosaurus. Like you're just saying the word.
But just like the one I just said, I said niggas asking me for features. I said they steady buying bars because my flow stays ahead of the curve like flying cars.
Yes.
I couldn't say buying bars and be like some no matter who your R's.
Right.
Or some shit. You know what I mean? I gotta be flying cars, buying bars. Then I can go to the next line, it'll be the same shit. The syllables gotta be on point. They gotta match. And if you go back, that's a challenge. If you go back to the 9 albums I did or whatever, point me out five lines or 5 situations on my albums that I didn't match the bars correctly, and I'll buy you dinner. I'll send you a gift card to Applebee's or something.
That's gonna be the challenge to all you viewers there. Anybody?
Nah, I ain't taking the whole viewers to Applebee's. Nah, man.
No, I'm saying whoever you come up from the viewers. Yeah. So me and the viewers, that's the challenge.
That's the challenge. I feel like doing it. Try it, man, because it should match up precisely. That's how I predicted.
That's some real MC stuff you're doing on that mic, and this is why people mention you in the circles. I don't know if you remember in the 90s, man, when the little magazines would have their little top 50 rappers list, you would always make it on there somewhere.
Nah, I never seen that before. I ain't never been on nobody's list, but I don't give a fuck. What, tell you the truth.
It's rare that they would, they would highlight Tash, especially around the time, you know, when your solo album was about to come out. But yeah, it's because.
But I've been seeing a whole bunch of listeners that been making me not like listeners no more. Man. I don't fuck with all that. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, because you do things like that, you put in a lot of syllables, you do internal rhymes, and you always land on time. You'll never hear Tash going off beat because you kind of have that built-in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay. That's what I think coming from Ohio. I moved to LA when I was 12, going on 13, right? We grew up with the funk. We grew up with the Ohio players. You know, like if you saw Green Sands, you know, Al Green was a part of my life. So I grew up around music and the funk and this and that. And I think that being so close to New York at the time, we was heavily influenced by spitters like LL Cool J and those guys and that whole Def Jam thing. So when I came to California, I was already on East Coast, like as far as my ear goes, because LA didn't really have a lot of rappers back then. When I came, wasn't none. Then came Ice-T. Then came, King T, my mentor. Then came NWA and all this stuff. But I just think that even when I first, what made me different in Los Angeles was that kind of East Coast upbringing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That followed me, and my musical upbringing in general followed me. So where I couldn't spit it any other way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, as a matter of fact, I'm glad I'm gonna send it to you too. Though I was way, like, I want to say 3 or 4 times harder on the microphone at age 15 than I am now. Or 21 and over and all that. Yes, a dude just hit me on the internet and said, this Mac Goy, DJ Sarge, and I recorded your first demo with you and E Swift, first demo when y'all was 15 years old in my studio, and I just found the masters to it, and I'm gonna get them transferred. So we got them transferred, so I'm kind of waiting to the computer shit. And he sent it to me, man. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, where the hell did I was using big words and flipping. I was rapping like, kind of like LL, I guess. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like when LL used the big words, but he's only 16, so he probably don't even know what that word means, but it sounds good in rap. You know what I'm saying? My commentary for this thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But I thought this demo, I'm gonna NFT it, because it might be harder than a lot of shit that's and Swift did the beat.
There you go.
He was on it back then. Like, I was like, he was scratching on it like Jazzy Jeff and Fresh. When we first started, it was just me and E Swift. The group was called Tash and Swift. That was it. We ain't had no name, none of that shit. So it's kind of like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince and shit. I get up there and talk jokes and shit. And I fuck with the bitches. And I would hold Swift down at his party. He was like a legendary house party, or we was kids, so we had equipment and shit. So he was the man, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard.
I used to have to carry this motherfucker's equipment in and shit to get in free and all this shit. I'm like, man, I ain't carry yours. All right, give me that shit was heavy.
Right. That makes sense though. That makes sense because I mean you rap faster. You're surrounded by King T being the mentor. His flow is slow. It's steady pace flow. J-Roll's flow is slow, and J-Roll acknowledged it. He says on one of the tracks, yeah, my style is kind of old but gold. No,
he said kind of old, like how they call old English, old gold.
Old gold, yeah.
Yeah, he said my style is kind of old, like gold, because everybody back then was saying, "Hey, pass the old gold, man."
Right.
But you just said it wrong, and that sounded real whack when you just said it like that.
Got you.
You said my style is kind of old and gold.
Thank you for the correction. But yeah,
that's what he said. He really was thinking that was really a hell of a line, because everybody was saying old gold.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's a bar.
But Ro got awareness. Ro knows, like what he say. He even said it on the thing. I don't
know.
By
far, hey, let me say this right quick, and I don't even know if these niggas gonna watch this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, in case they don't. J-Roll is one of the hardest rappers that you will ever run across, dude. Like, on the real, I can say some J-Roll lyrics that probably went over your head, and you'll be like, wow.
Man, wait till we get to the next dimension. I'm gonna point something out. I'm gonna see if you with me on it, but because I think I know what you're talking about on some point, especially we on this album. But yeah, I mean, for you to make the conscious choice to rap faster, and you probably didn't make the choice. It's probably just in you. It makes sense it makes sense that's that Ohio influence. You kind of got the best of both worlds. You got that East and that West. So I already know what you're gonna say on a scale from 1 to 5. The flow, I'm sure you're gonna say 5, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 5 just because I don't want to diss myself.
This is your opinion. It's
right. So I say 5, and the reason I say that is because wasn't nobody rapping like me, and right. I can say that with confidence. You know what I mean? Wasn't nobody on the West Coast rapping like me.
No,
maybe on the East Coast has some similarities, but no. But I'll tell you this though, the object was never to rap faster than nobody or this or that. It was just to rap different. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody in LA, and I think that's what held us back a lot too, because you kind of had to rap a certain way to be considered. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say a professional rapper, but in LA, as finicky as the gangbanging stuff was, it was kind of like they looked at backpack rappers below gangster rap. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, what's these little backpack rappers coming away? So when I stepped in on that mic, and I'm in front of all my homeboys as Crips, in front of all my homegirls as hustlers, in front of all my, you know, my white fans and all this shit, I knew that to separate myself from them, I had to do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just like I say with J-Roll and everything, I'm always pump up J-Roll because it's different strokes and different folks. Like a lot of fans that fuck with the Alkaholiks, they love J-Roll, but they be an older crowd, like they bump Too Short. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Too Short ain't gonna hit you with the hell of a lyrical combinations and shit and all this shit.
Right.
But when you listen to the flow, you like Too Short. You know what I'm saying? That's like J-Roll. The fans of Too Short love J-Roll because it's that slow, understandable flow. You ain't gotta pick the shit apart and rewind it and all this shit like they be doing my shit, you know? So
there you go. I think you just hit it on the nose, man. You are the bridge, man. I don't, in the 90s, see, you don't get to look at yourself like the fan does. In the 90s, you were, this is why I say y'all surpassed all those labels, man. I don't think I've ever heard y'all call a backpack group or anything else. Y'all are just hip hop. You were the only one doing songs with Snoop and Corrupt. You know, G's and G's remix was prime time when we was, you know, that was a big deal. Everybody's like, yo, y'all heard that? Who had the best verse on that?
But you see the science behind that, right? Do you see what I was trying to do with that? That's the Rap Life album, not Liquidation.
Yeah.
Okay, what I was saying was that this is what I tried to do. Like, I put up a clip of me rapping on the first song of Rap Life album. Nah, ain't the first song. I did a song called Falling On. And I put in the headlines, I said, does this beat sound familiar? This was supposed to be my first single before Rap Life and shit, right? But it's the beat that Dr. Dre them used for the next episode. It goes bloom, 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 bloom,
right.
bloom, bloom, bloom,
Yes.
bloom, bloom, bloom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had a song called Falling On. We had the video ready to all this shit. Cause I was gonna come out on my own first. You know what I'm saying? Then I was gonna come with the Raekwon and all this. So what happened was, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I don't know, me and that's Redman producer Rockwaller had did that beat, right?
Yeah.
So we had it all set up. That was gonna be the single. That was gonna be the video. It was gonna show everybody that Tash is the man. Y'all was falling off, he was falling on. We had this whole concept and shit.
Right.
Right when we sitting there trying to do the I don't know, the paperwork or whatever, the video direct, whatever we trying to do is right in the middle of it. And somebody said, hey man, what beat is that again? It was like, hey man, we was just over at wherever it came out of, Death Row or whatever label that came out on.
Aftermath.
Somebody from there said, hey man, you might want to rethink that single because that's about to be Snoop and them and Dre and all them singles. Yeah. And I started thinking about the only niggas I played it for. And I started thinking, like, I played it for a whole bunch of my people that be with Dre and them and all that. So even if they didn't take the beat from me, somebody should have stepped up and said, because I know who I played it for, I know they was in that room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they should have been like, hey nigga, Tash about to drop a single with that, even though it probably would have got overridden anyway. Like, fuck him. You know what I mean? That's how it works. You know what I mean? If you ain't under that card, that's what happens. But anyway, so that threw a whole monkey wrench in the thing. Then once that happened, I had to come up with a whole new single and shit, right? So that's when I came with the idea. I said, you know, I can either go East Coast with it, I can go West Coast with it. So what I said was, let's start off with the Rap Life shit because I figured like Rap Life would show the total personality that's not the nigga from the Alkaholiks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Hella, you know, shark in the swimming pool, Dayton's on the lawnmower, you know what I mean? Yeah. And all this shit. And so I went with the one with Raekwon for the first single. Then everybody started loving it, saying this and that. And then when I put the song out, they really thought I was from New York. Because my first song was with a New York motherfucker. We right in the middle of LA. Yeah. But everybody loved Wu-Tang, so they understood we label mates. That's my homeboy, that's my brother. And so they understood. But now, where we go from here, I said, I got an idea. I said, Snoop want to rap on this remix, the one I got with Corrupt. And Exhibit like the song also. I said, okay, I already came with one from the from the East Coast side of things with Raekwon. I'm going to come back with G's for the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that would solidify me. Okay, he's officially one of them dudes like me, Corrupt. I got some really good shit going on. Shout out Corrupt too, man. We got some. He about to sign my artist, Junior Boy from Dallas, Texas, and the paperwork is here, so we're ready to go. Nice. And me and Corrupt working on a little something too, man.
Got a little something. Corrupt stay working.
Yeah, got to, man. Ain't nobody gonna give us nothing for free, so we got You know, we got to
So
take it serious. But
that was what I was saying. You were getting your West Coast solidarity, and you were the bridge. You were like, yo, I'm in this wave too.
yeah, but it didn't work. You see, everybody else shit went like this. They was looking at me like, what are you trying to, you know what I mean? And all this. And all I wanted was my love from the West Coast, really, to just, because that's why I lay my head at, you know what I'm saying? That's why I've been for the last, 40-something years. So, my whole thing was I know that this going to, get me where I need to go. And for some reason, they, don't get me wrong. That's why I say I hate the word underrated, because I look at motherfuckers that came out right with me. They never even came out, and they still rapping, you know what I'm saying? Back then, they, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I know.
So I look at it like I'm truly, truly blessed by the Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? I'm humble, so I don't get mad at nothing that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here now. Got my hands a lot of cookie jars. Got music on the way. I just shot a video this weekend for the 50th year of hip hop anniversary and all that.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is I know people that's way worse off than me, so I don't never hold my head like, oh, I had such a bad career or life, or none of that shit. I live in a big ass house down the street from here. As you can see, we ain't in the ghetto no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't in the hood. You know what I mean? And everything is lovely, man. So, when they give me this underrated shit and all this, I be feeling like they be feeling sorry for me, man. Like they give me the silly thing. Oh well, you're so underrated, and I wish that more people could. Man, fuck all that, man. I'm living my way. Don't feel sorry for me is my point. Don't feel sorry for me. Just support me next time in the licks and anything we got coming, because it's like that Def Jam symbol used to be. When you see that symbol, you knew it was official. You knew it was some quality, good ass shit. That's how I want to be looked at. When you see that Tash name, boy, it's about to be something under it. You know what I'm saying?
That's real, and that's one of the messages on this channel. I'm always like, yeah, we talking about old classics that these people would put in the hip hop library, but they still live and thriving and still making music. Go check them out. You say you love them, but it's all good. This is a very Tash centric interview, because your flow is so unique. Even though we're talking about a group album, it's what you did on this. So I'm gonna jump to Dimension 5, the wordplay. You said stuff like, I mix words and match them, I chase words and catch them, the A in Alkaholiks stand for all about the action. Mm-hmm. And I think you know how to describe your rap style better than any journalist I've seen. You said, I make words connect like West Side when I test glide, my drunken lyrical hang glider. Like, that is what you do. You connect your rhymes. So you're not only a rapper that says clever things, you'll connect the bar. And I got like 2 examples of how you connected something. I'm like, bro, you were really in your bag thinking. You said, because I'm Tash the Top Gunner here to blow your EP so you can see what I'm saying.
EVs, man. Listen. I said I'm here to blow your EVs. You remember them big ass concert speakers that they used to have back in the days? They had Sherwin Vegas, and then they had EVs, and EVs was the big motherfucking speaker. So I said I'm here to blow your EVs.
Okay. This
is fun. I ain't never had no conversation about all my years of this rapping shit. Ain't nobody got this deep with me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This is what's different. This is what's different. So you say I'm here to blow your EV so you can see what I'm saying, like enhanced CDs. But you don't stop right there. You continue that. And you say, so if y'all niggas want the bomb, press Tash.com.
Way before the internet.
Exactly. And then you said, and I'm gonna pop up on your screen with the beer in my palm. Like, keeping it on brand, bro. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what other rappers were not doing. It's one thing to say a clever line, but you connect it for like another 2 bars and keep that internet imagery and all. Your raps have more intentional wordplay in it.
I don't know. It's just like, it just flipped on a switch in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even know how you can really get better, because you only have so many words up in your head that you know. You know what I'm saying? That's why the song I did last night, I was sitting there thinking like, how am I thinking of words? I thought I ran out of shit after this. It's like I got thousands of songs, and I ain't go to the colleges and all this. I ain't got a plethora of diversity shit to say, but I keep coming up with this shit every year. I keep coming up with these raps. I'm thinking like, these motherfuckers is in my head somewhere. I just gotta untap them. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you know it's pure talent, Tash. And you one of the best, bro. Like, it's just, you never run out of words. I mean, y'all might say OD hella times, but that's purpose, right? So what you giving yourself on the wordplay? From 1 to 5,
I'm gonna give myself a 5 because I'm comparing myself to the West Coast rapping, man. I know what I was saying was hella advanced for a lot of motherfuckers, man. Because, I ain't gonna say West Coast rapping. I'm just saying in general, you know what I mean? But the West Coast was really on some just straight up. Can you see what I'm saying? Like we in a shootout, we like some gang shit. You know, they described it. They describe it perfectly. What's happening in that world? My shit just be scattered with a whole bunch of shit. But I hope you can visualize it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me see. As a group, y'all did everything that people want rappers to do. Y'all did alliteration. Y'all did freaking onomatopoeia. Y'all did imagery, simile, metaphor. And then y'all would do these theme bars. So I need to give J-Ro his flowers right now, because where he wouldn't do all the syllables and complex structures like you, he would do some real MC stuff. And there's his verse on Off the Wall, for example. He goes and does all these double entendre lines where he's naming titles of old soul songs. So he's like, it's a thin line between love and hate. And then he's like, I found love on a two-way street. Like, he just keeps going with titles throughout the whole verse like that. That's some MC stuff. And then, of course, on All Night, he's shouting out all the DJs that he can think of. And on Contents Under Pressure, he's describing what a studio session is like. He's like, oh, I'm waiting on the pizza. The engineer's messing up. I'm writing this rhyme on my side. So, I mean, y'all balance each other out very well, because what one doesn't do, the other do. It's a great contrast, man. Y'all.
But he got lyrics too. Like, you remember the line where he said, this would trip me out. Like, he said, here, fresh ass rhyme up until this point. Then he said, you could meditate. Hold up, he said, you could meditate till you levitate. He said, you'll still never rank higher than a 7-8. He said, I'm glad I had to set you straight. Da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
No,
they go rap way more like clever little shit than I do. I just make it loud and it sound like fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. Because I mean,
you would meditate till you levitate.
And you still could get higher than the 7-8. I don't remember that on this album, but Road has lines. That's what I'm saying. Y'all a great compliment to each other.
Hey, we talking about lyrics too. Let me shout out one more person, because I just talked to him and shit. And I don't call him that much, but he picks up and this and that. But shout out Royce the 5'9", man. Royce the 5'9", Detroit.
Royce, like,
as soon as you say lyrics, that's the face the top of my head. Like, you mean lyrical like Royce lyrical? My type of lyrical like this. But Royce is a good dude, and I fuck with Royce, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, man, he's a bar master. Would love to get him on the show.
Let me just say one more thing about J-Ro lyricism. J-Ro did a song in 1993 or 4 called 2018.
No,
he was talking about the world was gonna be in ruins, and you're gonna find these hip hop cassettes. Then 2018 came and went.
It was called 2014.
Oh, 14. 2014
that was
came
my time
and
to correct you. Yeah, now I had to redeem myself. That was my time to correct you. But yeah, matter of fact, y'all got a line where y'all going back and forth on Pass Out, and you say something at the housing, and then another, I'm gonna rock the mic till 2000, and he comes in and says, in 14. So he's like,
in 14.
Like a nod to that.
That's the good old days, man. That just came and went.
Man, y'all some MCs, man. So like, if we on Dimension 6, we talk about the punchlines and the quotability, man. Y'all got punchlines. Like, and J-Ro's punchlines, they come as they come, man. It's not like his verses are packed with them, but he'll get some clever ones off. He said, we coming back out on that shit like cream corn.
See, shit like that. See, J-Ro a comedian, low-key, man. That's a funny motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Like, low-key, he be slipping a man, have me dying, man. Like,
yeah, one of my favorite lines, because he had done like you did. He did like a longer setup. He was talking about having women in different pauses defying gravity, but he said my lyrics flipping like Dominique Dawes with no draws. I'm like, yeah, that's great.
See, that's that lyrical, man. Like, that's what everybody when they always say, like, oh, Tash, you rap lyrical, man. You lyrical. That's because you compare me to the rest of the West Coast MCs. But if you really think about lyrical, you gotta go get somebody like on some lyrics. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'll just be having fun, man. Like
Razzcast.
Huh?
Razzcast.
Yeah, I was talking to him last night. Raz, what's up, boy? We got something cooking too, man. Raz, he funny. I told you, me and Raz got something cooking.
Yeah, shout out to Raz. We did our Soul on Ice episode last year with his DJ. Shout out to Reddy C. But yeah, man, y'all got lines. I think he said something like, Rose said, I run around with 40s like Sean Kemp. Like,
yeah, so you gotta pay attention, class.
But then and he said, I think the most clever line J. Rose says on his album, he says, "We could fight the power like this was PE class." I think that went over a lot of people's heads. That's a double entendre.
A lot of people.
But you, again, like I think you said it, you say it louder and you keep them going. You're gonna have more punchlines per verse than a lot of rappers in the game in 1997, period. Like, Hip Hop Drunkies alone, man. I'm gonna tell you a hip hop drunkie story. So my company's called Plates and Crates, and we started doing these live events in New York, where this is before hip hop became all grown and sophisticated, and places were still scared to have hip hop in their venues. And we were doing cover band, so we would do a whole album with a live band, a whole album tribute. And so one year we had Jarobi as our chef, because we would serve brunch at night and do this live band hip hop rendition of a classic album.
You talking about Jarobi? Try to quest Jarobi?
Yeah.
That's my dude. He did say he was sick. Yeah.
He was like,
Jarobi, right there. Last time I seen him, you know, we bringing up the drink champs and shit. That's the last time I seen Jarobi. When we left the drink champs that day, Shine was doing his interview the same days as us. The same day as us. And so we sitting with Shine and Jarobi from Tribe Called Quest, who took us on our second tour. That wasn't our first tour.
So yeah, Jarobi as the special chef of honor. He made up this special menu, and this was shortly after Fife passed, right? So rest in peace to Fife. So he didn't want to hear no Tribe music. He's like, look, man, I'm tribed out, man. He's like, I really want y'all to do some MF Doom. That's my favorite rapper, but I know that
mine too.
He said that's his favorite rapper. I'm not big on MF Doom like that.
What? You ain't big on MF Doom?
I wasn't at the time. And so like,
and he makes his own beats. I always look at a nigga that make his own beats too, man. I give it up. That's my favorite.
Shout out, rest in peace to MF Doom. But he was like, that's who I really want y'all to do. But he said that might be too obscure because it was a Memorial Day event. So it was supposed to be this big Brooklyn event, and he's the guest chef and he's making this special menu. So he's like, all right, well, can y'all do Old Dirty? I was like, say no more. So of course, a part of doing all these songs from Old Dirty's catalog, since it's Jarobi, we didn't do just one album. We just did nothing but Old Dirty hits. And so we get to Hip Hop Drunkies. I know this song by heart, every part, right? And we're performing it, and I didn't realize, like, because, you know, keep in mind, this is Marley Marl's beat that Swift had, like, tweaked and resuscitated, and Craig G is in the audience. So I'm rapping your whole joint over, and Craig G is in the audience, and we flick up after that. But I was like, yo, I blacked out. I didn't see anybody in the crowd because I'm over there doing your whole verse with all the
you ain't got the video footage? I gotta see that on video. You ain't got the footage?
I gotta find it, bro. I'm gonna find it.
I ain't never seen nobody do my verses, never.
Yo, bro, with the breath control, I don't know how you do that. I saw you perform live too, and your breath control is excellent.
But if you're saying slow, it really ain't that complicated.
It's not.
You're now rocking with the licks, so start reaching for the ozone. I see some girls I know, but y'all look different with your clothes on. What up, though? Tash came to still look like the Grinch. While I'm leaving niggas puzzled, like I said, I'm sitting in French.
But it's all old. Yo, bro, can we just take a pause to appreciate how dope, maybe one of the greatest opening lines in rap history. I see some girls, start reaching for the ozone. I see some girls I know, but y'all look different with your clothes.
I'm loving this. This is one of the greatest in rap history. Damn.
Bruh, openings.
More people think like you.
That's up there with I ain't a killer, so don't push me. Like, bruh.
That's a word.
Yo, opening lines are important. So I mean, you were rapping with so much breath control on that beginning verse, you know, and then even when you came back, it's the tenacity. Step out of place.
See, that's like how simple that is. They say I'm lyrical. They say, oh man, you was lyrical and all this shit. But if you think about it, it ain't no hell of a lyrics, man. It's a step out of place. Tash to smack the taste out your face. Right?
Right.
What the hell I said to that? I'm trying to think. Damn,
yeah, I got stuck. I know this shit by heart, and I got stuck too.
Oh, because there's nowhere to hide unless it move to outer space. Think how simple that is.
Yeah, man. I say that to say, I mean, you're a punchline master, and I think when people, part of the reason this channel exists is also because people just think a lot of words means lyrical. This is like ESPN, man, Sports Center for rap. Basically, challenging what people think they thought, if it's really what they think they thought. So. Yeah, you're right. You say a lot of, it's not like super intricate cannabis crazy stuff, but because you say so many things together per verse, it's a quality verse, man. It's the
It sounds
delivery.
like it's more than it is.
It's the delivery, and there's an amount of cleverness. I mean, there's clever stuff. You said something like, "I'm so dangerous, I call the Surgeon General on myself." You know what I mean? Like, it's clever. You know, so I mean, on a scale from 1 to 5, you're gonna tell me it's a 5 when it comes to punchlines and quotability, huh?
Why would I discredit myself? Yes,
It's
5.
not.
Yes, it is gonna keep on
Right.
being 5. The reason why I just need people to see what you see. I mean, as far as you breaking down the lyrics, see people like you that what you're doing right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is who we made the shit for. We made it for people that's gonna appreciate it. We make the lyrics complicated for people that's gonna say, "Whoa, did you hear that? Rewind that. What did he say? Okay, do it again. Okay, oh, I get it now." You know what I mean? We did it for that purpose, and it just seems like it got this whole hip hop shit got swept under, like the real hip hop. It just seems like around the pandemic, it just got swept under the rug. Like it wasn't even a culture no more. Like wasn't nobody living up to the B-boy and all this shit. Like there wasn't nobody living by the original format of rap. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
What makes y'all so special is because y'all did it effortlessly, man. I mentioned Cannabis. I mentioned Razzcast. Razzcast, one of my favorite rappers of all time. But the detractors, a lot of the complaints of what stunted him is it was too complex. It was over people's head. Y'all were doing this over easy to listen to party shit. You know what I mean? Your whole career, if we were to throw a Lick's greatest hits album together, there's some greatest hits on that. You ain't got to reach for those. Y'all got songs in the pantheon of hip hop classics, from Make Room all the way to Best You Can. Like, y'all easy to listen to, but y'all still kept high level lyricism. So I mean, yes, why would you disrespect yourself, right? So let's jump to Dimension 7, the concepts. One thing on every album, y'all got concepts. I gotta take something back that I said when we reviewed Common's album, Resurrection. I said he was the first one to rap about a woman as a metaphor. I lied. Y'all did that on Mary Jane on your very first album. You know what I mean?
We did all. Yep, Mary Jane. That's what people like. We got this weed company called Smokeaholics, right? And people was like, "Oh, y'all just jumping on the weed shit now and all this." Man, we did that on 21 and over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We was talking about the weed in period. Like, that was 93.
Yeah.
And Cypress Hill came with the whole, Redman and Method Man and Devin the Dude down south, and all these people had these weed songs, and we was like, damn, we need to do a part 2 and a part. Oh, we just did Mary Jane part 2. This album, it's hard too. Shout out to Theory Has It, man. This producer named Theory Has It. He cooked that. He took that sample that I thought could never be flipped again because everybody, loves Rick James and all this shit. He took, man. This might be the hardest Rick James loop ever, man. It's hard.
I'm ready. I'm ready to hear it, bro. Yeah, y'all did that on that. You mentioned already on Coast to Coast. J-Ro had his solo, that 2014 joint where he's talking about post-apocalyptic world where hip-hop saves the day. And on here, y'all got Captain Hook. Who came up with that concept?
I don't know if me or J-Ro thought of the whole Captain Hook concept. I think J-Ro did because he rapped first. Normally when whoever rapped first.
It was
I rapped first. I mean, I must have thought of the hook then. Because I must have thought of the concept. I didn't think about it. I mean, I ain't never thought about who thought of it, but it's crazy because that's like one of our most popular songs that is slept on. You know what I mean? Like if I ask the average motherfucker, hey man, you know this song by the Alkaholiks called Captain Hook? They're gonna be like, no. But if I go somewhere or in my DMs or whatever, they come to the show, they be like, hey man, I came all the way up there to see y'all do Captain Hook. Y'all ain't even do Captain Hook. And I'll be like, man, I didn't even know nobody heard about Captain Hook. I didn't know nobody.
It was wasn't it a B-side single? It was a B-side single, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember.
You don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of years of this shit. Some detail. I don't want to tell you the wrong shit, but it probably was. Shit.
Y'all stayed on topic through that whole joint, and y'all approached it from 2 different ways. It's one of the. It's a master class in how to do a concept song. It had catchiness to it, so it could have been played on the radio.
We got a lot of flack for that song. Like all controversy be going under the radar and shit. Like if you listen to that song again, it's a part where I said niggas only play if you R&B at Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I said niggas only play you if you it goes or I don't know if they left it. I don't know the one you heard if it's in there. But what I really said was I said because there used to be this radio DJ that's like the you might as well say like Funk Master Flex on, you know, New York radio or whatever. But they had this dude out here named Theo, and I swear to God, this motherfucker only played like 3 songs a day, man. He just keep playing them back to back to back. So, you know, us being underground rappers and shit, I wasn't feeling all that. So I said, fuck trying to get radio and shit. We might as well not diss them, but I'll be just telling the truth. I said, and radio only plays you if you, and Theo only plays you if you R&B and Tupac. And right when the album's about to come out, somebody went back to Theo and heard this motherfucker that the licks dissed you on it. And it wasn't even no diss. I just said whatever, but it was this big ass, like loud, they call it Loud Records, and said it. They gonna stop this, and you know, no Loud Records will ever get radio play if we don't change the Loud Records went in and changed. They ain't even asked us, nigga. I don't even know how they got the file.
Yeah,
when I heard it again, it was like
the names got redacted. Yeah, they took the names.
And it wasn't even a diss. I was like, man, it wasn't a diss. I was just telling the truth. And y'all, okay. I said, well, if that saves us a lot of headache and shit like that, but it was really like, I couldn't stand that motherfucker, man. Like, and I had no reason not like nowadays. I'm grown and I realized I never even met that motherfucker. How could you not like somebody you ain't met? It was the politics behind all shit. Yeah. You know, like we already don't get enough, you know, radio players, underground rappers and shit, you know. But then we from LA and you playing all this other stuff and people like this song, you know what I mean? People like to lick some shit. Yeah. And they just refused to play it. So I said what I said and they tripped and Loud took it out and everybody was happy at the end of the day. But just shows you radio wasn't fucking with us, you know. Yeah,
radio in the 90s was atrocious, man. And this year in particular, again, man, I give y'all props for getting one off that is probably one of y'all biggest records of all time during this year. I always call it the Diddy year. In 97, it was all Bad Boy on the radio. It was hard to get something on the radio during that year if you weren't affiliated, and y'all did. But yeah, just concepts-wise, y'all got Captain Hook on there. I think Keep It Pouring, and even Contents Under Pressure is a little conceptual because y'all were talking about stress, industry stress, but y'all still kind of kicking raps. It's a loose concept, but Captain Hook was a tight concept. Y'all really stayed on point. You were just talking about fake industry dudes. It was a metaphor for any like untalented dude that just got on through connections and politics. And then Ro was just naming a bunch of rappers and how this fictional character was stealing their styles from coast to coast. It's brilliant. That's that Nas type of shit, man. That's concept.
It was that Nas type of money, boy.
So,
but like I said, I ain't mad at nothing. Hip hop is blessed, man. I think, you know, people say this real loosely, but I think hip hop saved my life and all that shit. It really did in my situation, you know.
Got you. I know you're gonna give it a 5. See, I caught you. If I would have got you for part 1, you couldn't have done 5s all because one of the questions is what's the weakest song. And now that I know that you hate Feel the Real, you probably would have brought it down to like a 4.
Nigga, that's number 1 on that list. That's one of the ones when it come on. If you put on a party or something like that, all you gonna see is my back walking out the door like,
Dimensions 8 and 9, the external content, and then the internal content. So external content is how much we are talking on world issues or deep things, politics, the hood,
very
things
little.
Like that. Right.
J-Ro though, on the other end, if you go back, many songs on the albums, he would slip shit in there that has to do with the state of the world at the time that he was camouflaging, like this shit ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, off the head, it would take too long to think of one, but he always got some, you know, straight up political shit in there.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the first video. Off the Wall, he says something. It seems like most of my peers only want to talk about guns and blah, blah, blah. And then on Keep It Pouring, which is his solo, he talked about, you know, slowing it down with the drinking. That's what that whole song was about. He's like, right. I'm not trying to preach you, just trying to reach you, the wild ass grandson of a preacher, you know.
That's why I wasn't on that song. I wasn't trying to slow down. I was trying to speed up.
Yeah, bro. When I think of internal content, Dimension 9, like the closest we get exposition from you is Feel the Real. As much as you hate that song, you were talking about your life. You were like, you know, that's why you're looking at my fingers and you see no rings, just a something, and a 40 ounce of Miller, because the last chick I had, that chick made me want to kill her.
Maybe it's the girl I was thinking about. Maybe hate that song, man. I don't know, man. It's her. Something about it just sit well with me.
Yeah, man. You said that's about as much as we got like a personal monologue from you. Y'all definitely kept it pretty surface, pretty hip hop MC based, and but every album y'all do slip in some content. I'll give that to y'all. 20, the song 21 and over on the first on the Coast to Coast. Y'all got a song 21 and over or under 21. Where y'all, I think it's you
21
rapping.
and under.
Yeah, there you go. Because it's you rapping to some kids that's trying to get you to buy them drinks, and you're like, slow down, young homies. I'll help you out. But that was kind of the angle you came from on that verse. You remember that?
That was a real Ohio story. That was an actual story. I put in the words and shit. But
yeah, man.
Everybody was like, "Why you buying them little kids some beer?" I was like, "Oh man, I was
See? So every album y'all splash it in. Do you feel like that's a takeaway though? That y'all didn't rap about more deep stuff?
Nah, cause that's what we was, man. We was the Alkaholiks, and that's what we like. The whole thing is that we came into the game on some MC shit. What we meant by MC. We were, how do you say it? We were molded by house parties. We were molded by the party atmosphere. Like, when you saw that Crow Crush and who was it? Crow Crush 4, or what do you think? Wild Style with Busy B and all them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our eyes, in our heads, that's what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what they was doing, rocking the party, and people just looking like, these motherfuckers got talent. You know what I mean? Like, I wish they, cause the world could hear this. That's what we basically went into not every song, I wouldn't say every song, but that was the mentality. We got to say this in front of a crowd. You know what I mean? That's why when people say, oh man, you got all these punchlines and all this shit, you known for the 4-bar quitters, whatever they call this shit. You know what I mean? Like the one-hitter quitters, 12-bar, whatever. But they used to always say that, and I'll say the reason that being because when I write my raps in my head, I'm envisioning me saying this to somebody. And most of the time, the people I'm saying this shit to is a crowd full of people. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm slipping that shit in and trying to be witty and shit, I'm trying to get an expression out of the crowd I'm looking at.
Right.
Like, ooh, but remember back in the day when somebody said something fresh, you'd be like, ooh.
Exactly.
You don't get that no more, man.
Yeah, so I mean, you don't feel like it's a takeaway, but it's going to be hard for you to give these a 5, knowing that you didn't have a lot of content on these albums. So on the scale from 1 to 5, what would you give the content dimensions? 1 to 5.
A 5, man. We the Alkaholiks. What else we supposed to be rapping about, man? World peace. Listen, man. We are the Alkaholiks.
Yo, was that hard? Was it hard at any point to keep up with that? Like, cause y'all incorporate a lot of alcohol references in your verses. Was that conscious, or did that just become like second nature after a while?
I'm gonna say it again. We the Alkaholiks, man. What else are we supposed to be rapping about? Nah, man. Yes, the shit was on purpose because we was young. Like, picture a frat party from college, right? Mm-hmm. You know how they get on, Friday nights, their parents ain't watching, they got the drinks going, they throwing bitches in the pool, they doing their little this over here, the beats is like just like the like our whole first 2 or 3 albums, we used to do every college, every fraternity, every this and that, blah blah blah, because we was the official party crashers. We was the the college atmosphere crowd was who we was after. So all the shit we saying on the album was just, like I said, was aimed towards, we know we're going on toward this album to the colleges, to the young, we aiming it to the youngsters. That's why we call it 21 and over. We got to be 21 to drink and all this. We knew the drinking crowd, smoking crowd, party crowd, hip hop connoisseur crowd that like the real shit. That's who we're aiming after. So if we go do 3 or 4 songs about, saving the elephants and shit, you know what I'm saying? And all this, they're going to be like, huh?
Why y'all always go so extreme though when that question come up? It ain't got to be all super soft, but I mean,
what you want me to rap about? Obama was thinking?
Y'all could have talked about just like leaving Ohio and going to LA, like.
I did. I said, you ain't heard the song I said Ohio? I said, what I say? I said, maybe not on that album. It wasn't on that album. So we sticking to 20. We sticking to Liquidation. Right, I bet if I go through it, I can find some knowledge, even if it ain't extremely extremely knowledgeable or that type of rap. I bet you'll find some motivational shit up in there, like don't quit, always be a winner.
There you go. Always, like I said, every album y'all sprinkle it, and so to be able to be dope with the lines and the boastful braggadocio hip hop stuff, but also show that you can do that. That's artistry right there. That's what separates the rappers from the artists. So I see you giving that a 5. That takes us to the final dimension 10. Storytelling.
5 on that one too.
Story.
You ain't want me to say, yeah, I get that with a 2. That ain't happening, bro.
Storytelling.
We just brought that up when I said the 21 and under. They said they like that story. People told me they like that story.
That's a different album though. On this album, storytelling, you got Keep It Pouring, where J. Rose talk about his life. You got
I let J. Rose tell the stories.
You got Feel the Real, and then Captain Hook. Captain Hook is a story. Storytelling was a big deal in the 90s. I've actually heard people say it's not a good rap album if it ain't no stories on it. You feel like y'all accomplished that on this album with the storytelling?
Nah, because we only had 1 or 2. It's like I know who I was aiming at with this crowd. I was aiming for the metaphor b-boy connoisseur listeners that like to smoke a blunt and just be intrigued by lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, how do damn, that was hard right there. That's what I was aiming for. So if I wanted to make a whole album full of stories, I could do that. I got enough stories in my head about these motherfuckers. I can't wait to make you talk about a book. They got a outlet now that kind of schools you to writing a book, how you have to write it and this and that, and they give you different options for publishers and all this type of shit and everything. And I was really trying to do an audio book because first of all, I can't write that good. You know what I'm saying? But the way that it's coming, like basically it would have to be like what do you call those, like a set of books, you know what I'm saying? There's no way I can fit everything that has happened or I've seen or whatever in these last 30-something years on the mic that I could fit in one book. And I mean, you get with an author and they help you condense that. If you need one, holler at the kid. We have to hire you to condense this motherfucker because I mean it's like every story that might not even nobody even want to hear. Like I can tell you stories like let me think of one that just popped in my head 2 days ago. I just had this girlfriend. I mean, not girlfriend, but this girl I was talking to. Her name was Dara and shit. And I get this call one day, and at the time, I'm living with the biggest weed motherfucker in California. Like, and we roommates and all this shit or whatever. But I get a call from this dude. He was like, "Hey man, is it cool if I give Nas your number?" I said, "Who?" He said, "Nas, the nigga with the." I said, "The dude from New York?" I said, "He hard. Yeah, get my number." This album, his first album come out. He was in LA working on the second album. Mm-hmm. But he was like, "Hey man," and I got on the phone with him and shit. I ain't know him. I said, "What's up, homeboy? Da 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 da. I love your shit. What you doing in LA?" And da da da. Bottom line is, I was the first one that Nas ever smoked real California weed with. And he wanted to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. He heard all this shit about Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And so I took the nigga to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with my chick I was talking to at the time, which was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. She was all on Nas. I was like, "Oh, this is embarrassing, my nigga."
Yeah. That's violation.
Us three at the table with Roscoe. She's just staring at the nigga like this with her hands on the thing, like staring at. I'm like,
nah, that's
and everything.
violation.
We laughing about it. Yeah, but anyway, Nas took my chick that night, I think, because I dumped her after that. I was like, "Man, you embarrassing."
Yeah, it's over. It's tainted. The well is tainted. Yo.
Yeah, man, it's tainted like that was the first time I was salty or some rapper shit. I was like, "What the fuck?" But
bro, holla at me about that book. You gotta make the book happen. I just finished Raekwon's book and I just started Fat Joe's book. You gotta join that list, that library of people telling their stories before.
I was one of the last people to talk to G-Dep before he turned himself into prison. He turned himself the same week that we had a show. I think it was somewhere snowing. It was either Denver or Utah or whatever. And he's cracking with the G-Dep album. And we was the Alkaholiks and Dougie Fresh was there and all these different peoples and shit. And he wasn't coming out of his room. I knew him from New York. I met him in New York. And I was like, "Tell him come party with it." And our rooms was right next to each other. And his wife came out and was like, "Oh, he ain't feeling too, feel like talking and all this shit." And I went and I talked to him. I said, "You cool, man? It's something weird. Like, you all right?" I thought he was sick. I thought he like had the flu or something. Like he was just, like out of it kind of. And then, the trip we went back to LA, he went back to New York, and then all of a sudden, like 5 days later, that Friday, I think we did it on a Sunday, and then that Friday, he turned himself in for life. I mean, he turned himself to jail and got life and shit, right? He got life.
I think, he doing a hell of years, though. I think they said he might be up for early release coming soon. So, I mean,
okay. I think he got 20 to life or something like that or whatever, but I think you get out 25, 20, something like that.
You got stories to tell, and you owe it to yourself, forget everybody else, to get those stories out, kind of leave it in a space, and just leave your mark there on that.
I got a hell of it, bro. I told you it's all in my mind and shit like that. I got a hell of it.
Yo, I will help you, bro. Like, if it ain't me to help you write it, like, I'll connect you with who does, because I'm in that world partially. Shout out to all the authors out there. So that's on a scale from 1 to 5. I already know storytelling, you're gonna give that a 5.
For that one song, yeah.
Here we go.
You guys be 5.
All right, bro. I'm on. Let the people know what you got cooking, where they can find you at. This is your space to plug all the new stuff. We talked about all the classic material. Shout out to this album, Likwidation, it turned 25 last year. That's one of many albums.
Hey.
21 and over, turns 30 this year, man. Y'all got a bevy of classics. It ain't a crazy long library of discography, but all them joints hit. But where can they find you, Tash? What you got cooking?
What I got cooking? Well, basically, man, I've been focusing. That's why I really been dropping shit recently. I got an artist that I started managing. His name is Junior Boy. He out of Dallas, Texas. He has a song out right now with NBA Youngboy. It's called No Love, and that's at 1 million something right now, streams and all that. But basically, he's about to drop this other song with Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch is cracking right now from LA. So I linked it. We that's what I said. With me and Corrupt got something going on. We might as well let the cat out the bag. Junior Boy's about to be an artist on a label in conjunction with Corrupt's Pentagon Records. Nice. And everything. So me and Corrupt gonna be the overseers of the shit, you know what I'm saying, and this and that. But aside from that, man, we got I got an album called Smokeaholics that I did just to promote the weed brand. But I'm going through a little transition because I'm going from one company that I was fucking with to this other company. So I'm put that on the burner. I'm just gonna come with a whole bunch of shit, man, a whole bunch of heat just to get my name back out there. Cause I really took a little hiatus. I didn't take a hiatus of recording. I got like probably 100 jazz songs right now ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to light a fire under E Swift and J-Ro and just say, look, man, I got all these songs over here. If y'all jump on them, they alcoholic songs. You know what I'm saying? Because Swift is like, he's super tied up with the job. He's a head guy and shit, so he can't do it like he used to. But we get together. I think the next thing I'm gonna focus on, because we got a beer coming out. Alcoholics, we got a beer called Liquid Brew coming out.
There we go.
It drops It drops in May, I think. They said the end of May is what we're looking at. They sent us all the designs for the can and all that shit. We're gonna have the Earl, the dude throwing up on the can, and it's gonna say "Don't be like him" and all this shit. Yeah, Liquid Brew is on the way and everything. And I just want to get back into before it's too late. Because I feel great, man. When I stopped drinking, I kind of re-energized me, physically and mentally to do what I love. I ain't gonna never stop rapping. I don't give a fuck who listen or who can hear the shit or whatever. I'm gonna always be here on that mic and whatever chance I get. So that's just that ain't going nowhere. But it's just the avenue to put the shit out now. You know what I mean? I want people to hear this new. I got a lot of thoughts in my head that I need to get off. Just like the shit, half the shit that we talking about is where I'm going with it. Like more personal songs, more. Let's get into the mind of Tash, the party shit. I don't even drink no more, so I can't use that, on every song. You know what I'm saying? I just tell them just check me out on IG or Facebook or whatever. It's just Tash of the Alkaholiks, TASH_. I should pop right up, little green glasses and everything. You'll see it. Tash of the Alkaholiks, spelled the alcoholic way. And you'll see, it kind of shows you what I be doing. I be up to everything, man. Like it shows in a big ass concert with Exhibit. Then the next one, it showed me hugging my kids. And the next one, it showed me smoking some weed. Then it showed me in the studio. Then it showed me over here. You know what I mean? So you can pretty much keep up with me if you just go to my IG. Another thing to check out too. I'm sorry, but please check out. We have a clothes company Like, I don't know if you can see all this shit I got on. Everything I got on right now is Live Victorious, and I'm part owner of this company called Live Victorious out of Vegas. I don't know if you can see all this shit, but this is us. And you know, the reason I said that, we got a website, so go to livevictorious.com, or they hacked our IG, but it's Live Victorious on IG, and pop right up. You see,
got you.
I'm a part of that too. You see me talking my shit over there.
I'll post some images of it up after I edit this. And you know, since we're talking about stuff, y'all can still cop the I Used to Love It t-shirts on the raproulette.com. Make sure y'all go.
I'm about to give me one of them.
Leave y'all nice. Leave y'all ratings on this album under here, or y'all can go to the Rap Roulette and leave your ratings. I'll put Tash's score. It's gonna be 5s for everything. But man, yo, this is one of the realest interviews I've ever done, man. They say don't.
Nigga, this is one of the longest interviews you ever did, man. It's 2 hours and 39 seconds.
Hey, I tried to cut you early, man. I tried. You was like, keep it going. And I'm serious, man. He ain't. What he didn't tell y'all is he's gonna write his book. I'm gonna be part of that somehow, some way. I'm gonna help him get there. Yes, sir. I might nudge him every quarter, be like, hey, you start writing, or you know. So we'll talk offline about that, man. But listen, man.
You got a crew, or you just by yourself with the plates and crates and all that?
It used to be a whole team. Now it's me holding down the brand. But yeah.
Now I was about to say, I'm just joking about the long interview shit, but I was saying the questions that you ask are the reason we do it. So I just want to big up you and you know, whoever. If you got somebody else that helps you out with the shit and everything. If not, you the one-man army. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just appreciate people that appreciate. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you appreciating us. You know.
Got you, bro. I appreciate you making the time. One of my favorite rappers of all time, man. So it's like when they tell you don't meet your heroes, but you know, this is one of the times where it works out well. So
oh yeah, they say you meet your heroes, you ain't gonna like that motherfucker after the interview.
yeah. So
I done did that a lot. I done ripped the motherfucker like, I can't be in the same room with this motherfucker. Like,
that's great, man. Yeah, I still got to nudge Swift. Swift ain't hit me back yet, but he said he's doing it.
He don't hit nobody back, man. Tell Swift, man, when you do catch up with him, tell him call his cousin Rico, man, from the Alkaholiks, the same group he's in.
I will definitely do that.
I'll never talk to that motherfucker. You know, I hope my brothers and shit, the Alkaholiks, see this when, you know, they finally decide to get on here, because I mean, I try to answer as many questions as I can. What's up with the licks and all that and everything, but tell you the truth, I don't even know, man. So I'll let them call me and tell me when it's time, because they know I'm a writer, man. So as soon as they say it's go time, they know Rick's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? Well, I love them to death, though. I love them to death. I love them guys to death.
Yo, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. While y'all at it, y'all know, take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. And till next time, Tash, we're gonna get you back on here to talk about your solo. And it is big love, man. Much appreciation.
Oh man, back at you, man. I appreciate it, man. That's what's up.
All right. Until then, y'all know what it is. F a Rap Critic. They talk about it while I live it. Word to meth.